What's going on, everybody? This is Map It Out, episode
4, baby.
4, baby.
Yes,
Man,
sir.
let's go. I feel like, hey, this is gonna be a great journey. We're having fun in here. I mean, this is great. I could see us going 100 episodes, maybe
like it.
200 episodes. Who knows what the future holds? We're gonna keep building from there. We're gonna get 1 million followers at some point, right?
And it's a great time of year, especially me. It's still early into 2026, but it is towards the end of the fall sports season, winter sports season. Lots of action.
Yes.
Lots of things, both locally and nationally. Of course, if this is your first time watching us here with My Planes, first off, thank you so much for doing so.
Yes.
But second off, yes, I mean we will get into everything from the local sides of things of the sports scene, which we're going to get into in just a second. But especially when it comes to today, as we are about maybe 3 days away from, again, probably one of the biggest spectacles that we have in sports, especially when it comes to this country, of course, in the NFL and the Super Bowl.
Man.
So it's gonna be a fun
showing
time.
up together to eat pizza, wings, commercials, and watch a championship football game. I'm excited.
Real quick, go to snack food for a football game.
Snack food.
Yes.
Okay.
Go to what's yours?
I'm gonna. Trying to think. I like Doritos. Like if we're talking like a snack thing, I'll go with Doritos. I like some jalapeno poppers, man.
Yeah.
Oh man, you like
bacon wrap.
Bacon.
Yes,
oh
sir.
yeah, you know
Yes,
what's
sir.
up. You know what's up. We had our fraternity in college. We were like known for making like jalapeno poppers with bacon wrapped on them. Everybody was like, whether you hated us or loved us, you're like, oh man, we want some of those jalapeno poppers. You know what I mean? So that was always good. That was always good.
I like that. I've always been a fan of wings, however they may be, whether it's just frozen from the food aisle, or whether it's pulling up to a restaurant, grabbing some wings. Got a good friend of mine, Byron, with a really solid spot down in Canyon. Shout out to Byron. Always down for wings. Nachos, of course, always a good option.
Yes.
Now, as far as how old we are, certainly have a good beverage or two responsibly, of course. But it's gonna be a fun time. But always gotta have a couple of wings on me.
Yep.
Couple of nachos. I'm kicking back, feet up, watching what could hopefully be a great game and a great end to the NFL season. But of course, we'll get into previews and our picks for that here towards the end of the show.
Get into that in a second. We're going to start local. I mean, it was a busy week locally. We kind of got we have coverage at the station where we talk about the big game and talk about what's coming up on Sunday. The first Monday and Tuesday when we were supposed to start that coverage, Corin and I were like, we're good. We got stuff to talk about. You know what I mean? And usually you don't find a sports department that's like, we don't want to talk about the Super Bowl. Everyone wants to talk about the Super Bowl, right? But we were kind of we had district realignment on Monday. We had basketball games on Tuesday. We had signings yesterday. Let's start with kind of where we're at on basketball.
Yeah.
So obviously, I think on the girls' side, a lot of exciting storylines. The Amarillo High Lady Sandies. What a stretch for them last week. Oh, my goodness. They had a buzzer beater, Tyler Held, against Tascosa. And then they go on the road to beat Monterey, which, Tascosa didn't do. Tascosa lost to Monterey on the road, didn't beat them at home. But Amarillo High loses to them at home, but then a huge win on the road against Monterey to give them a chance at the district title and playing great basketball at the right time.
No, absolutely. I mean, being out there last week for that Amarillo Tascosa game, just seeing I got goosebumps. I had goosebumps my dang self just seeing that last possession
I
from
know.
The Alex Carter
Back
three,
and forth
which
shots,
she's been absolutely amazing, especially with this. For lack of a better phrase, new look Tascosa team as we get into the end of the season. A lot of players, they're
losing
certainly
Emily
stepping
Sims.
up. Yeah, exactly. Everyone's certainly been stepping up and thriving in their roles.
No doubt.
Huge shot, huge offensive production from Alex Carter. But again, Tyler Held's been one of the top guards, one of the top point guards specifically in the district, in the area. Certainly
she's a gamer, man.
100%. Like to see her just come in. Just with full assertiveness, come back down the floor, hit that shot off the glass.
Yeah.
That's also been kind of her shot. Couple steps into the mid-range bank shot. She has been as automatic as they come around the area.
Yeah.
So it was a really great performance from them. I didn't see the game, obviously not being out there at Lubbock for the Monterey game just recently, but we know how talented both of those teams are. We know how talented that top
100%.
of the district race is. It is going to be an absolutely chaotic finish just within those top 2-3 teams alone.
For sure. And I mean, it looks like the Lady Sandies are really just kind of figuring it out right now. They're making it competitive. That team across the board is just starting to look good. I mean, Ella Brown's stepping up.
Yeah.
Shout out Tom Brown's daughter.
Yeah.
I mean, you got to watch out for the Lady Sandies right now. We've been knowing that Tascosa is really good. They've got a great team. Several players that know their roles, and they're going to make a playoff run. But man, the Lady Sandies are definitely playing good ball at the right time. Jeff Williams got that team going. Man, he knows what he's got. He knows how to coach a basketball team. That's all I'm saying. 100%.
What I mean? Like there's so many great coaches and great leaders, like we've talked about on a number of occasions, but especially when it comes to Jeff Williams. I mean, he's been here for years, near decades on end now, but it always feels like, and again, I've only been in this space for a good couple of years now, but the one thing that I've always seen from Amarillo, especially on the girl sides of things, that level of preparation, that level of attention to detail, but also still that level of care, just outside looking in, just kind of seeing how they are on the sidelines, how they are after the games. I mean, of course, you're always going to have that level of excitement after a huge win, especially against a rival, but it definitely felt like the type of environment, the type of atmosphere that you want to have with the team. And of course, that goes for a handful of teams, if not all of the teams that we have here around the area. But Amarillo, that's been one of those, for lack of a better word, one of those benchmarks, one of those standards when it comes to not just AISD, not just 3-5A, but through the years, people have always talked about Amarillo High in that level of regard of there's always going to be talent on that team. There's always going to be conversations of wire to wire district championships, playoff runs, whatever the case may be. So it starts at the top, and Jeff Williams has been one of the top guys, one of the top leaders in that position.
Great coach. Love talking to him. Meanwhile, Tabor over there at Tascosa doing a good job in his first year. He definitely inherited a solid team, but he's not letting it go to waste.
Not at all.
Man, he's doing such a good job. Do we see the Lady Sandies and the Lady Rebels in the regional championship? Do we see them play each other in the playoffs? However the bracket lines up, would we possibly see that?
I would love nothing more than to see that happen.
A third matchup.
I remember also not being out there, but seeing it and hearing about it. Kanan and Randall on the boys' sides of things a couple of years ago. The regional, they were playing up, I believe, at the Rip Griffin. Up in Lubbock.
Yeah, they had to go all the way to Lubbock, which is so random.
like the FUB is just right here in Canyon, which, I mean, again, I can understand whatever the case may be.
How it worked out for whatever reason, but
UIL, I get it. We can get to a whole bunch of things when it comes to the UIL, but
we got
trust me,
we'll get to that in a second.
But the atmosphere, even just seeing pictures, even just seeing videos, like that is what high school sports is all about.
Absolutely.
That's what, especially being around here in the Panhandle, that's what it's all about. You're always live for those rivalry games, but to add that added sense of stakes into the playoffs with that chance to get to San Antonio, that would be absolutely phenomenal of a sight to see. Of course, Amarillo High with the immense talent that they have, Tascosa still with the immense talent that they have. Kinsey Dixon, I mean, she's been in this program for a while now, but in this, again, with this new look team with Emily being out, she has been so confident with the ball. She has been so assertive, great plays, great aggressiveness on the offensive end. Devea Johnson still being Devea Johnson, Nakia Fisher still being Nakia Fisher. A couple of moments where she's not able to really get into a rhythm, but when she does, one of the better scorers in the area.
Watch out, dude.
1,000%. You have so many things. We have so many things at your disposal, so that's going to be absolute must see. Should that happen,
shooters,
I hope it does.
Got defense. I mean, and they pass the ball really well too.
And an underrated front court as well. Devea Johnson, obviously one of the top players, but Emerson Plummer. Very underrated as well. Like if that is going to be a matchup again, to see that front court against Amarillo High with the size that they have, I think it's going to be absolutely amazing.
Definitely. I mean, like you said, great players and then underrated players. Really, those underrated players have to step up for Tascosa. And if they do, man, they have an incredible night and they can make a deep playoff run. Excited to see what happens there. On the boys' side, you also got Tascosa. They're doing a good job as well.
You also have probably the district MVP in Ladarius Godbolt.
Oh, Ladarius Godbolt, man. We love us some Ladarius Godbolt, right? That guy is hooping, man. He's having such a great year. And then the rest of that team is playing good too. I mean, obviously he's the leader of that team because I mean they've really stepped up. They're ranked right now.
Yeah.
I think, like I said, the only 5A team we have ranked, which at the beginning of the year I thought maybe okay it could be the same thing. Like Amarillo High is good.
Yeah.
PD's got a chance. Randall might be good over there, and 4A could be West Plains or Canyon. You didn't really talk much about Tascosa, but here they are with a talented, honestly phenomenal team that they've got going. They've got a great connection because they lost to Amarillo High in that first district, or the first time they met up.
Yeah.
Then since then, I think maybe they lost a tournament game, but they other than that, they have not lost since that Amarillo High game in district.
Oh yeah,
they've gone on. I don't know what the streak is.
10 straight.
10 straight.
10 straight counting this past Tuesday.
And they're leading the district. They're ranked in 5A, and I mean, it could be a sleeper team in the playoffs. Who knows? And I mean,
100%.
they're hitting on all cylinders right now. They look great.
Ladarius Godbolt has been amazing. The way that it can be a split second. The second the ball is in his hands, it's almost immediately. Boom,
yes.
Immediately, boom. And 9 times out of 10, that's straight to the bottom of the net. That is straight buckets.
Oh yeah.
Every possession.
And Corin and I laugh too because when he makes a shot, he's always like clapping. He's like, "Come on, man, what you got? What you got?" And I'm like, "Dude, keep that energy going. I love to see it." As an alumni, I'm like, "Yeah, man, let's see them Rebels." You know what I mean?
You absolutely love it. Which
girls and boys.
Which also, by the way, if we're talking about postseason and all district honors and things like that, Steve Jackson got to be in there for Coach of the Year.
Coach of the Year, yeah.
Absolutely has to be.
And he's just remained grind. He was there when I was there. Yeah. He's just stayed grinding at Tascosa, man. He's had some up and down teams, and I mean, he's finally got a team that just looks really good. I'm so happy for him. I think this is exactly what he's been waiting for, a team that could definitely get it done, do something in the playoffs. And I mean, man, they've got size too. And they've got dudes that can shoot the ball all over the court.
Yes.
And I mean, you got to guard everybody too, because I mean, they've just figured something out. It looked like at the beginning of the season, maybe this could be another kind of middle of the road, maybe average Tascosa team, but they look good. They figured something out. Something is clicking right now, and I'm like, man, I cannot wait to see more of these guys.
My not so much MVP because obviously that's Ladarius Godbolt, but
yeah,
as far as X factors on that team, love the backcourt of Blackshear and Corpening. Love what I've seen from Tyzavian Collins, but Ben Kinney. Ben Kinney in this new wave, this new era of basketball, everybody being able to handle the ball, everybody being able to run the floor, shoot, the level of versatility from the top on down. Ben Kinney is every bit of the big that you want to have on your team. He's able to run the floor. There's no such thing as a stop in effort or a lapse in motor or whatever the case may be. Great rebounder, very physical. Had a couple of dunks as well this past Tuesday out there at Tascosa. He is every bit of an athlete who's in that role of being that type of defensive anchor. Now, as far as what the next level may be, I certainly hope he's had, if not already, a number of looks at the next level. But from where we are now, you have the backcourt in place, great shooting. To have that type of defensive anchor, again, remains to be seen what that means for the surrounding spots in the region. And, of course, should they make a run, the San Antonio schools, Houston schools, list goes on and on. But I've loved what I've seen from him. You need to have that type of size and physicality, somebody who can excel in the extra effort plays, get on the floor. He's that type of intangible player that every team needs to have. So shout out to Ben Kinney. He's been a great year for him.
And we mentioned West Plains a little bit.
Yeah.
Oh my goodness, I think we got to expect more out of West Plains, just like we got to expect more out of Tascosa.
Yeah.
I think we got to expect more, accolades and rewards out of West Plains too. I think they kind of got them a little low in the rankings. I mean, given the district has maybe fallen down a little bit over there in 4A. I think West Plains, though, they look good. They look like they're together. They've got chemistry. I saw them play Randall the other night. They move the ball. They've got great bigs. They've got great guards. They're undefeated in district. They look very athletic. I mean, I think West Plains deserves their flowers. We'll see what if they get against somebody in the playoffs, who knows what happens. But, I mean, I think they've had a great season, and they look good. And, I mean, they're definitely a team that looks like they should be undefeated in district play, and I think they deserve their flowers too as well.
No, 1,000%. CISD has also been really, really fun to watch. Very nice to keep up with, of course. We've had a couple of those games on KG&C Tuesdays and Fridays. Props to Lucas Kinsey, Bryce Sheets being out there for the call for those games. But yeah, it's been really, really fun to see this basketball season up to this point. Only a couple of games left. before we get into the end of the regular season, before we get into the playoffs. But, the conversation that we always tend to have at the top of the season of, hoping X amount of teams can really make a run, get into the playoffs. Yeah. I think that number might exceed what the consensus was before the start of the season. Yeah. I mean, we know about the girls' sides of things. Tascosa can make a run. Amarillo can make a run. Mm-hmm. I mean, heck, depending on what the PD and Cooper situation might be as well, that's going to be really fun for fighting for that fourth spot as well. Oh, yeah. It's going to be such a fun and, for lack of a better word, chaotic into the season. But as fans and covering it, that's all we can ask for. Just great action, great camaraderie. It's going to be fun.
Good plays, yeah, man. I'm across the board. I'm just like, on the girls' side, going to be fun playoffs. I think we're not giving enough credit to some of the boys' teams. I think could be fun on the boys' side as well as far as the playoffs go. I'm so pumped up for it, man. I think it's going to be a good, fun postseason for us to cover. I'm looking forward to it, and it's happening soon. I think it starts in about 2 weeks. I mean, at least the girls' season ends, or regular season ends next week, and then in 2 weeks the boys ends as well. So we're getting close to playoffs, man.
Yes, sir.
So kind of talking about that district realignment real quick. In the 5A district with volleyball and basketball, they're going to a 10-team district now.
What a district.
And we've been talking about it all week. We've been asking coaches about it. They don't seem too excited about it, obviously, and I get it because, in basketball, you might be starting district before Thanksgiving, which is absolutely insane. Yeah. And I think Coach Williams even made a point yesterday. He was talking to Corin. They might be waiting on some of their volleyball girls still, too, to come play basketball. You won't have your full team or your full strength team. And, I mean, that's where that creates a lot of – I don't know, really gray area, really tough area where, I mean, if you're still playing, I mean, obviously Emerald High is usually playing a pretty late volleyball season. And then they're trying to play a late basketball season too. And so if you don't have your players when you're starting district so early, that creates a problem. What do you think about the 10-team district?
I love it just for the sake of the schools that are there now being added into the mix.
Competition.
Yeah, right? Absolutely. You're always going to be for competition.
Yeah.
I think it's going to be – Not to put more hyperbole on it, but I do think for as great as the 5A scene has been throughout these past couple of years, and even off of the last realignment with the Lubbock schools being in and Monterey, things of that nature, for it to expand the way that it has been, again, as a fan, you're going to be on the edge of your seat from August, from literally wire to wire excitement. I am curious though, because I mean, you guys have had conversations with with folks, with coaches, their thoughts with the realignments and things like that.
Yeah.
Is there any? Have you heard of any pushback? Because I mean, the things that I've heard has been traveling as far as years past. I mean, you've had some Abilene schools in the mix, or at least in years past, of course. Now things are a bit closer, but again, I'm not from here, and so I'm used to going at least 30 minutes round trip for a district matchup, not 3 hours round trip.
Yeah,
you know what I'm saying? Like things again, whittle down just a little bit, but not by a whole lot. If I hear about these correctly.
Yeah, I think there's not really pushback. It's more just kind of like surprise and just kind of like, man, this is crazy, because like you said, no Abilene, no San Angelo. That's like that could be at least 4.5 hour round. I mean, not round trip, but just there, and then another 4.5 hours back. San Angelo, very much so, like 5 hours or 5.5. Man. I mean, but anyway, none of that. I mean, it's mainly just Lubbock. Not too far away. So, I mean, I think really more of the thing is just starting district play earlier, starting it so much quicker, and not really having a chance to prepare in non-district as a team. And, you want to win those non-district games, but at the same time, district is what matters, what gets you in the playoffs, and, how you get your spot. So, I mean, like, when you start it so early, and especially, like, if you play, like, an Amarillo High versus Tascosa game so early in the season, you're like, man, this is way too early, because we want some of those measuring stick games, like, where maybe we play a 6A team, or maybe we just have a tune-up 3A game or 4A game, whatever it might be. You only get, like, a couple tournaments and maybe 2, like, non-district games, and you're like, all right, here we go, we're starting district, you know what I mean? And that's what I understand. Travel, not so much, not really a problem. I think it's more so, and then competition's obviously still there. I think it's more of just like, man, we're starting so quick. We don't have much time to prepare for district. We got to jump right in, and that's it is what it is.
In non-district, while non-district is an important thing, like you always want to have those tune-up games to get ready for district, things like that. One could argue, if anything, that just raises the preparation through the summertime. That, if anything, especially on the football sides of things, that raises the level of maybe not too much actual reps. I know not too many teams participate in spring football, but that level of, all right, cool, you really need to have the mental sides of things down more than anything else. The physical, we can get to that once we come back for fall camp back in August or whatever the case may be, but that level of preparation, that should be raised a bit. I think that could be great for the guys. Because there are plenty of moments. I mean, only speaking for myself and my experience, there were a couple of times where you have a non-district game against insert school here, and I'm thinking, all right, no disrespect, but this would be a great time to kind of get a couple of reps in, get a couple of the rotation guys in, and really get stuff going. While that is an important thing, it could be just. I don't think it could be as important of making sure that you have your main guys out there and ready to go, because now there's not a lot of wiggle room for that because the district's starting so early. So it could be a good thing, depending on how bad of a thing it could be. I think that could have a lot to do with the preparation that we will see, or at least hear about, over these next couple months. We've had some, again, great teams, great coaches. I have nothing but the utmost of trust and expectations for them to be focused and ready to go. But I can understand it's a weird adjustment to get used to, but I don't think it's going to take too long for them to get used to said adjustment.
Sure. Yeah. I mean, I think we'll see kind of how, what happens, how the scheduling happens, and how they adjust to it. There could be some growing pains. There could be some problems. I could definitely see, oh man, you face somebody you don't want to face so early in the district season. But again, that's where we're at. For the UIL,
you got to face it. You got to face the beast at some point.
Face it head on. I mean, it's kind of I don't want to tell a coach like, hey, you just got to face it, because like I get it, but at the same time, it's like, dang, well, this is where we're at. Now we got to adjust and figure it out. So I'm looking forward to seeing how they do adjust and how they make those early district games work. Because once you get mid-season or late season, you should be in that
like
team
you
shape,
know what team that you have,
exactly.
You know the strengths, weaknesses.
But that's where the problem is, I think, is in this whole thing, is just playing district games so early, especially if you play a game like Amarillo High versus Tascosa, or just like a big rivalry matchup. There may be some teams in the district where you're like, all right, we can face them early initially, it's fine. But you definitely don't want a game of that magnitude so early, especially if you don't have your, if you're not full strength, or you don't have your full team, or you're just kind of not completely developed yet. So I mean, I think that's really the main problem I can see them running into. But other than that, I think it'll be, like we said, competition. Still not so much travel. It's gonna be fun. I think it'll be a slugfest.
Again, as fans, I would love Amarillo Tascosa, whether it's game 1, game 5, game 10. I mean, heck, depending on how things could look as far as playoffs go. I love the rivalries. I love the history. Trying to learn more as far as Amarillo Tascosa, PD versus Tascosa, PD Amarillo High, the CISD schools. I mean Bushland, Canadian, Memphis. I mean the list goes on and on for some teams, regardless of level, regardless of where we are. That I think it's going to be a really, really fun atmosphere, all the same, getting ready for the season. But again, you're absolutely right as far as if you have that big game in the first 2-3 weeks of the season. Safe to say that's not the same team for going into weeks 8, 9, 10, and so on and so forth. So, again, all the faith in the world, all the trust in the world for them to be prepared mentally, physically, but I certainly don't envy this new look, how early things are as opposed to whenever we were in high school, years and years ago.
Definitely. Man, a lot to look at in high school. It's going to be crazy. I'm excited for the playoffs. I mean, we're worried about this year right now. That'll be next year, district and everything. But we're worried about playoffs and everything, and I can't wait for it. We soon got baseball and softball season coming up, but we're worried about basketball.
Yes,
ready to see what who comes out, maybe a state champ. We'll see. I think we've got several girls teams that can do it. I think maybe 1 or 2 boys teams that can do it. We'll see what happens, but I mean, on the girls side, it's definitely very exciting. A lot to look forward to locally. Quick shout outs to signing day yesterday. The headline was Reed Macon. Had a few over there at West Plains. We had 4 over at Tascosa that we went to. Several at Emerald High, Randall, WT announced their signing class.
Yeah,
So
man.
shout out to all the athletes that had their signing day yesterday. Posted some stuff on social media. So always fun to go from high school to play at the college level.
I love the WT social media team as well with the announcement of the guys, like the whole newspaper headlines, and whether it was Remake and whether it was Kaysen Benton, Garrett Split. Shalom Gonzalez.
That was good. I like
that.
Yeah,
I love how they were able to do that.
So and so signed to WT.
Oh,
Go
for
Buffs,
sure,
baby.
I love it. I loved every bit of it. It's hard not to kind of think about whenever I was going through that whole process of signing day and recruiting. The list goes on, and I have every bit of confidence that each and every one of those guys will have a leaps and bounds better career than I ever did at WT. But the biggest thing from it, along with
a legend over here. Come on,
a legend here, maybe on the field.
We're in the process of becoming legends right here.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. That's what I'm saying.
We're mapping it out, man.
100%. But I mean, the one thing that I will say that I will continue to say was that I was around some amazing people back 11 years ago. Is crazy, but that's where we are now. Back in 2015.
I think about that too.
I think about those times meeting with Jared Johnson for the first time, Avery Lewis for the first time, Trent Canyon, first having conversations with Dylan Vaughn, brother of Dustin Vaughn, having first conversations with my position coaches and getting used to the community and things like that. And in some of those guys' cases, you're just going up the street, but it's still an important thing of being able to be aware of yourself, your skill set, and also what it is that you want to get out of being in college. I had a little bit of a delayed processing of what it is that I want to do outside of sports when I first got up here, but that's what college is all about, is finding yourself, finding what it is that you want to do, that you're comfortable with doing, and being able to thrive in that the best way that you possibly can. I was around some great guys and great coaches. Same thing, especially with Coach Lynn and company now going into another year, calling the shots there with WT. So as a fan, as an alum, as a graduate, I could not be more excited for this upcoming class, could not be more excited for the start of spring ball. And if I can say, if those who may be listening who are, high school recruits or commits signing on to the next level, if you take nothing else from what I've been saying, one thing that I always learned about, better yet, the one thing that was always told to myself and the guys when I first got up here: know who you're at, know where you're at, know who you're with, know what's going on in the front of the house, know what's going on in the back of the house. You learn those, you have those things being ingrained, along with, of course, just being the upstanding, young men and women around town, around the community. It's a great place, great people. You will certainly have more than ample opportunities to really make a name for yourself, and also being able to call this place home. Again, for some people, you are still home, but to be able to have that level of, as an adult, being able to set something up for yourself, that's always a rewarding feeling. And I was able to experience that at WT. So props to the upcoming class. I certainly hope we're gonna have ample wins, conference wins. Best believe that wagon wheel is staying here. No disrespect to the Greyhounds recruiting class as well. I think Drew Donovan is in that class as well.
Honestly.
In a playful way, and I would love to be up there for that game in a couple of months as well.
Man, look out!
It'll be fun.
Here. He's here.
It'll be a really, really fun.
Can't wait to be talking about that soon
Yeah,
enough, right? Yeah,
for
that's
sure.
That's gonna be fun.
Absolutely.
But anyway, all right, man. A lot of stuff going on locally. We're excited. Like I said, signing day, basketball. Can't wait for the playoffs, but we got a big game happening on Sunday, man. We got a huge game.
Pretty big one.
Also, a lot going on in the NBA this week. Oh, my goodness. So much to keep up with. Trade deadline, all-star announcements and everything. Just plenty going on. It's a lot going on in the sports
At time of recording, we got a couple more hours until the trade deadline. There's been some crazy news. Some rather unfortunate news, especially if you're a fan with that team in Wisconsin. We'll get into a lot more of that here.
No doubt about it, right?
For sure.
Yeah, absolutely. Stick with us. We're going to talk national sports, Super Bowl, NBA. We got it all for you. Stick with us. This is Map It Out. All right, welcome back on Map It Out, episode 4. We got a huge game happening on Sunday. Everybody knows what I'm talking about. I'm talking about the Super Bowl, Super Bowl 60 between the Seahawks and the Patriots. Get into this game. It's two teams that were pretty unlikely at the start of the season, right? And two quarterbacks that are looking for their first Super Bowl. Drake May early in his career. Sam Darnold maybe not so much, but he's still young. He's 28, I believe we found out last week, and I mean that's crazy because he's still got plenty of career left.
Oh yeah,
and however long the Seahawks want to keep him, and if they want to sign him to a new deal at some point, I mean he's playing great football or playing at least good enough football to get to the Super Bowl. Because that Seahawks defense looking really good, offense doing what they have to. JSN, great season for him. Kenneth Walker still very much so a capable running back. Just a great Seahawks team, but man, you got a young, fun, up-and-coming Patriots team as well. Drake May looks great in his second year, his first time in the playoffs. He's already gone to the Super Bowl. Mike Vrabel, what a great head coach. I mean, you're talking about 2 years ago, he gets let go, takes a year break, and he comes back and he's leading the Patriots to the Super Bowl, which is awesome. So, in a game like this, where it's kind of two unlikely teams to get to the Super Bowl, what kind of do you expect? I know there's nerves. People are probably saying that the Seahawks are definitely going to win this game just because they look more dominant. They look like they've got it together. They look like they have the traits of a special dominant team. But the Patriots aren't here by mistake, in my opinion. They've won games. So what do you kind of see in this game?
I mean, starting on the Patriots sides of things, which to me again, I think it was important that I came in here, especially with this hat on, because I remembered one of my first Super Bowl memories was not even being at the game, but hearing about it from my dad. I mean, he was working. I believe this is back. I want to say this is 2002, if I remember correctly.
Yeah,
and. Like he was talking with I need to give him a call as far as what he remembers of of the situation. But he got a call. He's able to get tickets. Him and my mom at the time were able to go over to the game. Came back with all the memorabilia, swag, whatever the case be. Which led to one of the last time I was home. I was like, hey, Dad, come on.
Come on, man. Come on.
Hey, if anything, trust me, I got your hair gene, so it's only right. That you let one of these hats, you know what I'm saying? And, funny enough, this was that first Patriots championship with a young Tom Brady in the mix there at the quarterback position, of course. So to see what that career ended up becoming, to then see this 7-8 year drought, I guess, if you will, which we talked about it last week.
Yeah.
If you are one of those fans that just says, hey, it's been ages and the Patriots deserve this, let's
talk to a Cowboys fan that was born in 96 or after.
For sure. I'm not even a Cowboys fan, and I feel for them. Y'all need to relax, please. But for them to still make the waves they've been able to make, for them to still, for lack of a better word, have that rebuild in this post-Brady era and get back to this position, get back to this spot, I mean, speaks to the organization, speaks to the great choice in Mike Vrabel as head coach. I will continue to be not the biggest admirer of a quarterback from a basketball school like Drake May, but Drake May has played some really good football. The Patriots have played some really good football.
Hey, basketball schoolboy came out, and I was saying, hey, this guy's gonna be solid. He's an NFL ready guy, and sure enough, here he is in the Super Bowl. He's still got a lot to learn, obviously. I mean, he's still young, but I mean, hey, he's got his team in the Super Bowl. He did what he had to do. He's an MVP candidate. I think Matthew Stafford's probably. I was going with Drake May at first, but I think Matthew Stafford's actually gonna win it.
No, for sure.
But I mean, right there in the MVP conversation, he'll probably get MVP at some point. So I mean, my goodness, and it's only his second year, first time in the playoffs, already in the Super Bowl. My goodness. I mean, you think about the weapons he has, right? Stephon Diggs and
shout out to Stephon Diggs too. For the career that he's had, one of the more, I won't say underrated, because he's always been, at least I would like to think, he's always kind of been in that top 10 conversation for the better part of really close to a decade now.
Very talented, right?
Yeah, very talented.
Very capable, obviously, and definitely a Pro Bowl guy for sure.
Had his fair share of injuries, had his fair share of, let's just say, activities throughout these past couple of months.
But we got an odds here. That involves him here in a second in our next block.
To see him in this position, props to him. Travion Henderson, Ramondre Stevenson. Great part of that offensive line, really touted as well. But that defense, Christian Gonzalez
Very good, yes.
is my favorite DB not named Kyle Hamilton. Again, Ravens
Nice.
fan
I
here.
like it, yeah.
So, look, I think
go.
he's great. I think they have a lot of things going for them. They have, in comparison to the Seahawks, and correct me if I'm wrong here, a little bit more of the experience outside of a couple of choice positions.
Sure.
Obviously, Drake May, Christian Gonzalez, couple
Sure.
of those spots. But you have a little bit more of that veteran side of things in your favor versus Seattle. So I would like to think, from an intangible standpoint, there are going to be moments where that starts to show itself a bit more.
Yeah.
And the Patriots could have that advantage.
Definitely.
On the flip side of that, Seattle is and has been every bit of the buzzsaw that the NFC has had throughout this entire season.
And what I was gonna say is, like, he's got Diggs, Drake May, and you look at the rest of his core. His core is not exactly amazing. I'm just gonna put it that way.
Right.
He doesn't have one of the best.
It's above average at best.
Yeah,
like just off the names. Personnel only slightly above average.
I mean, he gave Hunter Henry a pretty solid season, which Hunter Henry is very capable, obviously, but I mean, he definitely made him a lot more, I think, relevant this season.
No.
He even got Austin Hooper the ball several times.
I forgot he was on the team. I'll be honest.
Yeah, right.
Forgot.
So I'm saying he spread the ball well. I would just say, imagine if Drake May had a stellar core, like a great core. Even if you look at the Seahawks core, imagine if he had that. Nothing against Sam Darnold again. I'm happy for Sam Darnold. He's doing great. Yeah. But I mean, give him JSN, give him even Cooper Kupp, and I mean, who knows what happens?
Rashid Shaheed.
Rashid Shaheed. I was about to say that guy is a good deep threat. Yeah. I mean, man, that guy is so fast. Like suddenly the Seahawks kind of have a very I wouldn't say sleeper core because JSN is very much so loud.
Yeah.
But I mean, just looking at those three guys, you're kind of like, oh my gosh. Especially if Cooper Kupp was what he was a few years ago. Obviously, he's a little older now, and it's a little different, and he's behind JSN. Yeah. Even Rashid Shaheed. Yeah. But I mean, that core looks pretty good. You give Drake May that core, who knows what's different? Who knows what could happen? I'm just saying, looking at his core, Drake May gets better 2s and 3s and maybe even a tight end. Like you give him like a Travis Kelce or Rob Gronkowski.
That's fair.
Who knows what Drake May can do with that? Because I just think there's really nothing bad about his core. Obviously, like I said, Diggs is a great receiver, very talented receiver, but give him a better core. What does he do with that? I think with what the core that he's had and kind of the offense he's had, you could argue that you look at the guys around him and you're kind of like, like nothing extremely special. Yeah. But they're in the Super Bowl and he's an MVP candidate.
Yes.
So I think that really does speak to Drake May and how he's grown as a player and how. I mean, he's ready. I mean, he's so capable to just perform well in the NFL.
Now here is one of the bigger bits of pushback that I'll provide, and something that has been talked about quite a bit, and I'm sure it's only going to be talked about even more so over these next couple of days. Patriots, great season. Mm-hmm. Competition,
not so much. I get it, yeah.
Peaks and valleys, couple of moments. Like it's no slouch to beat the Buffalo Bills.
Sure.
But we also understood the Buffalo Bills weren't like how they were 2 years ago.
Last or like second to last in strength of schedule, I believe, right? So
yeah.
I mean that makes sense. Yeah. I will say though,
like the road's still the road. You got to partake.
Exactly. I will still say though, you're playing. It's NFL teams. Yeah. I mean, you're playing NFL talent. You're playing the best of the best. Yeah. Whether you're playing the Cleveland Browns 17 times a year or whoever else you want to throw in there, the Raiders. Like, I mean, it's still NFL talent in your face. You got to show up every week. You got to play, and they didn't play the Raiders or the Browns, every week.
Now the Jets twice. I can understand.
Fair enough. I get that.
But again, it still needs to be done.
Yeah, it still has to be done. I mean, you got to play the game. You got to show up, and you got to win football games.
Yeah.
And so, I mean, I think the strength of schedule thing in college is so much more relevant. Absolutely. Obviously, compared to the NFL, when you're still playing NFL pro.
Like
talent,
everybody's good. Everybody's making millions of dollars on the NFL level.
Exactly. Everyone's they're fighting for their chance. If you make an NFL roster, you're going full on. Like you're working hard and you're trying to fight for your spot. And a guy, I'm more worried of a guy or just more scared of a guy who's trying to fight for his spot than a guy who's like, yeah, I definitely got it. You know what I mean? So I mean, up and down, like even at the top talent and those lower guys are fighting for a spot. Everybody's motivated. Yeah. Everybody's going to come out in a certain week and have a great game. Anybody could have a good game any given week, you know? Whether that comes in the Super Bowl, which we got some guys we can talk about here in a second, or if that comes in Week 5 of the NFL regular 2017 season, whatever it might have been.
That's going to be one of the bigger things that people talk about throughout the years when it comes to this game.
Yeah.
The stars very much need to be the stars. I think the stars will be the stars.
Yes.
But there's always going to be that one, holy smokes, they just came out of nowhere and all of a sudden they have 200 yards, 2 touchdowns on the ground, whatever the case may be. I remember Juwan Jennings a couple of years ago for the 49ers. I'm remembering, at the time, I wasn't too familiar with, well, actually, no, let me not say that because I knew that the Broncos defense back then was absolutely phenomenal, absolutely amazing. But Malcolm Butler, we wasn't too sure about. We didn't necessarily know a whole lot about when it came to that Patriots run. Malcolm Smith with the first Seahawks championship against the Broncos, he ended up winning MVP for crying out loud. Like there's those weird those weird guys who have made contributions and who've had some great plays throughout the season. But I think who is going to be that unsung hero for either team, in your opinion?
And I think this is, I'll get to that. I think this is definitely one of those games that can definitely be that. I mean, on the Patriots side, I could see a guy being like a guy like Mac Hollins doing something crazy, right? I could see a guy like, let's see. Like, I'm thinking of receivers because usually there's random receivers. Or we just mentioned Austin Hooper. What if he comes out and has an incredible game, right?
True. Patriots tight ends have had some success in the Super Bowl throughout the years.
What if Craig Woodson comes out and just gets like 3 interceptions, right? You know what I mean?
Yeah.
What if, I don't know. You look up and down, anybody can do anything in the Super Bowl, right? But I mean, you know what? Give me like a guy like Kayshon Boutte or Mac Hollins coming out and just catching like 5 passes for 100 yards or something like that.
I feel that same way with. Granted, Rashid Shaheed has been, if anything, that firm wide receiver 2 to JSN's wide receiver 1.
Sure.
But the versatility that he could have. I mean, heck, if he returns a punt, are we surprised? Like if he takes a simple RPO that can go 5 yards into 90. Are we that surprised? I don't think so. But in a world where we expect JSN to do JSN things, you need to find who that next person is going to be production-wise. And Cooper Kupp, I think, could easily have, 7 catches, 7, 8 catches, maybe not for 100 yards, but those big third down conversions, maybe even a red zone look. Kenneth Walker has been on a tear at the running back position as well in the absence of Charbonnet.
A.J. Barner. See what that guy does. See what does that guy do in the Super Bowl?
A.J. Barner, not sponsored, not an ad. He has been so helpful in DFS lineup.
No doubt. He's one of those tight ends that just pops off randomly every other week or something like that.
Like if he has 6 catches for 90 yards, we really shouldn't be that surprised. But with the options that are there, it could be a bit of a, holy smokes, this happened against this Patriots defense.
Right.
Who knows? Who truly knows?
Exactly. I mean, that's what I'm saying. That's definitely one of those names that, he's done good. He's not a huge name, but he could come into the Super Bowl and just be like, you're like, whoa, where did this come from, right? Yeah. Just like you said, an unsung hero. And usually you look at the offensive guys who could be the unsung heroes, but, anybody on defense could come out and get 4 sacks or get 2-3 interceptions and get a pick 6, or a punt returner returns a punt for a touchdown at the right time.
Yeah.
So you want to look at offense, but you can look at defense. Yeah, man, you just gotta give those guys credit as well, because there's been some great defensive performances that have won games or won Super Bowls in the past. And it's just like, man, that's what makes the Super Bowl great.
Yep.
You don't know what's going to happen. You don't know who's going to step up. Maybe a team over plans for somebody, and that's how some of these great performances in the past of guys that weren't like all pro Hall of Fame guys come up, and they're like, all right, man, like we can still, some of them, they're like, it's a football game, you know? Who cares if it's the Super Bowl? I'm coming out here fighting for my chance to get a ring. Who cares what my name is? I'm playing football. So and that's how some of those guys treat it. And that's what I love about the Super Bowl. Even like NBA Finals, even the World Series, there's always like an unsung hero. There's always somebody that steps up and they're like, man, remember when he did that? He wasn't a Hall of Famer, but remember when he did that, you know?
And you know what, that brings up another question that I have. Where does the Super Bowl rank in the 4 major pro sports championships for you?
Just overall?
Yeah. Like matter of fact, take away the commercials and the spectacle of it all. Like just the game itself. Compare that with World Series, NBA Finals.
On a world stage, I think the Super Bowl is definitely, or at least I guess in the United States, like the Super Bowl is definitely the most important because it's one night, it's one game. Everybody, all the commercials, halftime performance, like everybody tunes into it, right? Whatever it might be that you're tuning in for, and a party and all that.
Oh yeah.
I would have to say. I want so bad to just go with the Super Bowl. I think I just have to go with the Super Bowl because I think it's, for one thing, the most watched. It's everyone cares and tunes in to the Super Bowl. I don't think everyone tunes into the NBA Finals because, for one thing, a lot of people probably don't know when the games are, how many games there are going to be, who's playing.
It's fair.
World Series, probably the same thing. It's just such a long season, and it gets into the middle of football season. People care about regular season football over World Series sometimes. And that's just the truth, you know.
And nowadays there are too many baseball fans that are crying too much about the success of the Dodgers, and now they don't want to even watch.
They don't want to watch it at all.
I mean, look. To each their own, but I'm just saying. You know?
I love me some hockey, but people are definitely not tuning into the Stanley Cup playoffs enough, or at least the Stanley Cup, championship enough. But I do. I'm just gonna let you know I do.
So I like that.
But I mean, like, it's just, I think it's definitely still just the Super Bowl. Like, the Super Bowl is probably the most important to everybody. It just, at least on a fan standpoint, or just on views, tuning in, and magnitude of championship games, I think the Super Bowl is definitely the most important. And I think, at least in America, because everyone, who's winning the Super Bowl this year, who's going to win the big game, I just think that's what it is.
There are more conversations with that versus, hey, who's going to win between the Pacers and the Thunder, you know what I mean?
Sure, exactly.
For me and my answer, I'm a huge basketball guy.
Me too,
I would rather the NBA Finals personally, because I've seen not so much better matchups, but I have seen really fun and captivating matchups in the NBA Finals throughout the years. I mean, despite how anyone views those Warriors teams, those Warriors and Cavs finals were the epitome of must-see television. You go back to, Heat Spurs, that was as big as it was. Lakers Celtics, that's self-explanatory, you know what I mean? There were also obviously amazing Super Bowl matchups. I mean, I go back to Pats Falcons, I go back to Pats Eagles, I go into Chiefs Eagles from a couple of years ago that went into overtime. Like, there were definitely great games and great memorable games, but I think for me myself, just the history of what has been with the NBA Finals and turned into this new level of basketball, this new wave of basketball that we've talked about. It could rub people the wrong way. I know we can definitely get into a lot more of that coming up on All-Star break coming up next week.
Sure.
But for me, give me the NBA Finals, give me the Super Bowl, give me the World Series. Again, not the biggest of hockey guys. I certainly loved the Four Nations face-off rather recently, but hockey, that's got to be the bottom of the four.
Sure.
And
honestly, agree on that. Even though I love me some hockey, I can agree that that's probably the lowest. Which
that's
is
fair.
Sad in my opinion.
It is unfortunate. I mean, honestly, we're coming up on March here in a little bit.
Yeah.
The tournament's always going to be
always
going to be must-see.
This is such a special. I mean, you can make it a case it's special time sports, year round. But man,
absolutely.
This is so. March and April is always fun. Then, you get deep into the playoffs and golf. A lot of golf majors or good golf tournaments are happening. Shout out Scotty Scheffler, man, that dude's killing it.
Also must-see television. The Masters, out of all the major championships, that is always going to be must-see.
It is. I think everybody knows what the Masters is. If you watch for drama and excitement, though, I think the U.S. Open, man.
Yeah.
The way they cut those grasses, the way they cut those greens and how they make that rough, I mean, my goodness, it gives the players fits every year. Like the U.S. Open, they want to make it the toughest major.
That's been the conversation a lot.
Augusta, I mean, it's all time classic. It's history. It's everyone wants to win the Masters, but man, we can get in the summer. We can get deep into some golf. I love me some golf. We can talk all about it.
Real quick. I think we're coming up on. We may be coming up on a break here. But real quick,
we're gonna get a break. Yep.
Would you rather a Lombardi Trophy or a green jacket that you keep Because I did hear that you can have the green jacket for a year, but then it goes back. I think that's absolutely whack, personally. Like that's just me. Like if I'm Tiger Woods, if I'm Rory, if I'm Scotty, if I'm rocking this green jacket, best believe that will be with me till the end of time. Like with all due respect, you are not seeing this jacket ever again. Y'all have the money, y'all have the resources, come up with another one, but this one, that's for me. Yeah. That's for me personally.
Probably Masters, man. I just feel like it's just so special, and like it's just such a traditional thing. Like, yeah, you want to win a Super Bowl, but man, a Masters, you have the jacket. You're like, yeah, I'm a Masters winner. Yeah, everyone is gonna know who you are. Like, and we had a guy in an Abilene area that when I was over in Abilene that won a Masters that came from Stanford, Texas, Charles Cootie, and I got to meet him a few times, and it's just like, if you win the Masters, you're extremely special.
Absolutely,
you know what I mean?
Absolutely.
But yeah, man, when it comes to that topic, I'd probably go Masters, but overall championship is definitely Super Bowl in my opinion. Let's steamroll through some of these questions as we get closer to a break. I got to ask you, so who do you want to see win their first ring? I think this probably is kind of an obvious answer, Darnold or May, because I think one guy is definitely being depended on, and he's got plenty of time. He's still young. The other guy is a little later in his career, and, and he's been kind of a he was drafted high, but he's kind of a long shot guy now who's made a resurgence in his career, obviously Darnold. I think to me, I think might be the same answer for a lot of people. I want to see Sam Darnold win his first ring just because of everybody counting him out. Started at the Jets. Obviously, Jets are going to do Jets things. Played with the Panthers, played with the 49ers for, I think he started one game with the 49ers, had a resurgence with the Vikings, and here he's with the Seahawks in the Super Bowl. I'm going to go with Sam Darnold. I think Drake May's got plenty of time.
No, 100%. Also, we also looking into this matchup in particular. Love to see Sam Darnold with a championship. Lamar Jackson guy, Baltimore Ravens guy through and through. But for the trajectory, or I guess lack thereof, to start out Sam Darnold's career, he went from being one of the top quarterbacks in that 2018 draft class to being an absolute joke, afterthought, whatever the case may be. For him to go through this full redemption arc. Yeah. And potentially from going to seeing ghosts to seeing confetti fall at Levi Stadium. Yeah. I think it's a tremendous story. I think it's going to be a really great story.
I like that. I got to put that on social media. Seeing ghosts to seeing the Super Bowl is exactly what it is.
Absolutely. So I would love for that to be the case.
All right, Alan, I got to say, you have converted me.
Yeah.
100%. And it was partially you, and it was partially just seeing the whatever I saw on my TV screen on my iPhone in that random warehouse in the middle of Kansas. Could have been a Walmart, warehouse somewhere in the middle of nowhere with however many fans that were there playing flag football. And when the most entertaining thing is your nursing home player on a scooter rolling around and making everybody laugh, that's more entertaining than what you're seeing on the field, Micah Parsons. You know what? I'm converted, Alan. The Pro Bowl is done. It's 100% done. And seeing the image of Joe Burrow, Joe Flacco, and Shadur Sanders standing on that stage. One guy is clearly a MVP. He's going to probably be a Hall of Famer if he can stay healthy. One guy is, everybody debates about him, obviously, Joe Flacco. And one guy is just...
He just got here. He just got
The other thing is the AFC asked Justin Fields if he wanted to be in the Pro Bowl. He said no. Yep. So to me, that is another thing where I'm like, Pro Bowl's done.
If any New York Jet, better yet, like forget Justin Fields, if anybody on the Jets who gets invited to the Pro Bowl says no, what does that mean?
Some random players sometimes on the Jets that are very good, but yeah, in that case, it's just crazy. Like you said, expand your All-Pro, maybe do 3 All-Pro teams, invite those guys maybe to do a skill thing or just something like that. Just name an All-Pro, name All-Pro guys, Pro Bowl. I don't even know what the thing is, like I said, I've been converted. The Pro Bowl is just absolutely crazy. It's been lost. I think a skills competition can be kept. And maybe just do away with naming guys to the Pro Bowl because, when you got a guy like Shadur Sanders who's got a Pro Bowl on to his name right now, which he may end up having a good career, who knows, but right now it's just crazy. other guys in the past have gotten a Pro Bowl to their name, which I'm just like, how, like maybe just go to All Pro, 3 All Pro teams, and have an event. Don't play a game. We've gotten to that point where it's just sad.
Three All Pro teams. You add rookie teams as well, so that you can still have a level of recognition
Kinda
for what
like
the rookies
NBA.
are able to do. Yeah, absolutely. Like you don't have to have a game. You can make this again. If this is the week where football is the epicenter of sports around the U.S. of A. Again, kind of going back from last week, I'm sure there's scheduling things that can get in the way, but sure, have the All-American game on a Monday. Have the Senior Bowl on a Wednesday.
Mm-hmm.
Announce the All-Pro teams for the NFL honors that Friday or Saturday. You can make this an entire week instead of watching flag football highlights on Disney XD. I looked at that
on a Tuesday
that
night,
graphic
going up on a Tuesday night.
The way that
going up on a Tuesday.
The way that I was sitting there on the edge of my seat watching Duke basketball. The way that I was on the edge of my seat seeing Cooper Flag doing Cooper Flag things. We'll get to some more NBA stuff here in a little bit. Like, with respect, I don't care what conversations Shedeur Sanders is having or whoever else is in the mix. Joe Flacco, which surprisingly that was his first Pro Bowl selection. Yeah. Almost on some, hey, here you go, crazy, I guess. You know what I mean?
Because he's been right in the mix, in the playoffs so many years, and I can't believe even there. It's kind of like Matthew Stafford, where he didn't have too many Pro Bowls either. Yeah.
Yes, exactly. But I want to know how Joe Burrow felt about the Pro Bowl. Joe Burrow, who famously throughout this season, and I'm sure it was engaging in hyperbole, but I'm going off of what he said, paraphrasing, he lost his smile throughout this season. For my pro wrestling fans, you know what I mean when I'm saying that Joe Burrow lost his smile, not on some shiesty stuff, pun intended, but he got beat up, he got folded, he was absolutely defeated throughout this season. So for him to still being trotted out there with Joe Flacco and Shedeur Sanders, and you're sitting here still trying to put a smile on your face because I'm with my guy in Jamar Chase and T. Higgins, which those have been the only bright spots about the past 5 years of Bengals football. What are we doing? What are we talking about? I get if you're Joe Flacco, what do you get from being a Pro Bowler? And if that does anything for a Hall of Fame career?
Exactly.
If you're Aaron Rodgers, what does that do for you? If Pat was healthy, what does that do?
Yeah.
Like, if this is going to be what it is, scrap it entirely. Yeah. I love to see Garrett Bowles and the old linemen end up being tight ends and trying to moss over guys. Yeah. I love it as much as the next guy. I'm not about to sit here, though, for hours at a time watching a flag football game when there are actual games going on. And honestly, I would rather sit and watch plenty of game previews and coverage from the NFL Live crews. I would love to hear what Mina Kimes got to say about the game before I watch Micah Parsons scoot out there on a scooter trying to have some fun with the guys. Like,
that's exactly
like there's no need for it. The crowd looked, which it looked like it was at a practice facility. The game was like there's maybe
Walmart
3
warehouse.
Bleachers. Yeah, there's like 3 bleachers
Amazon
worth of stands.
warehouse, whatever.
There's nothing left. There's nothing left now. The players looks like they don't want to get into it. They don't want those who get invited. More times than not, they're going to say no nowadays because rest is important, your money's important, your brand is important. There's nothing left. There really isn't.
No, there really isn't. It's so done, and I think we got to move on and do something. I don't know, just the skills, expand the All Pros, and just leave it right there.
Expand the teams. Bring in the amateur levels to make this a full week about football. If everything culminating towards Super Bowl Sunday, you have something that can not only showcase the past with the Hall of Fame class, with the NFL honors and everything, you talk about the present as far as the All-Pro teams, the All-Rookie teams, and the future when it comes to the high school All-American game and also with the Senior Bowl. Like you bring in past, present, and future of what is still seen as America's pastime. That will bring in an audience rather than trying to find out what game, like what channel this game is on. Because even with the cable packages, like, look we can get to all those things with the TV sides of things. I know where we are, but it's a shame.
100%, I get it. All right, and we're going to talk about NBA. Probably move the trade deadline talk to next week. Run out of time, sadly. But especially once the trade deadline actually ends, it's like 12-12 at the time of doing this. So we'll definitely be able to talk about trade deadline next week and kind of see where those guys settle into those teams and kind of see what exactly they've got with those trades. But I will ask, NBA All-Stars were announced. You can read through the teams and be like, yeah, sure, he deserves it. This guy deserves it. Your biggest snub, though, out of this All-Star class, these All-Star teams.
We talked about it rather briefly before. We talked about it briefly before we got started here, and props to the defending champions, who they're still kicking butt, taking names, unless you're dealing with a 7'4" demigod in Victor Wembanyama, which we saw the other night.
Yeah, I
love Chet Holmgren as much as the next guy. But you're not going to tell me with a straight face that he deserves to be an all-star over Alperen Sengun. Like, I know what the format is as far as USA versus the world, and you still have your multiple teams and things like that. As a matter of fact, let's put it like this. When it comes to international-born bigs, not named Nikola Jokic, who's the best right now?
Sengun.
Like, sure, you can bring up Giannis, but he's hurt currently. Yeah. Sure, you can bring up Joel Embiid. He's been the true definition of streaky throughout this entire season. Yeah. There's some nights where Tyrese Maxey's the guy. There's other nights where Joel Embiid's the guy. There's even some nights where VJ Edgecombe is the guy. There's not a whole lot of there's not a whole lot of figuring out who's what when I watch the Houston Rockets play. That is also a little bit of bias because I'm a KD guy. But you also know that watching the Rockets, Sengun is the guy in the engine that makes that team work at that big man position. Great facilitator. It is very much baby Jokic type of production that we're seeing here. So to see him not get into the All-Star game does not make any sense to me personally.
100%.
Like maybe not so much being a starter, but you should have had some votes over Chet Holmgren of all people.
Yeah. I completely agree with Sengun. I had like two guys. He's one of them, 100%. I don't see how he's not an all-star. Doesn't make sense. He definitely is one of the leaders, probably the leader on that team. I mean, you got Kevin Durant. Obviously, you got Amen Thompson. And, I mean, even, Reed Shepherd's had a pretty good year as well. I mean, several guys on that team that are great, but he's definitely, like, the leader. Him and whatever you want to say, KD, Amen Thompson. I mean, Sengun is still very young. He's going to have a great career, and he's had a great season this season. Him not getting in.
He is the facilitator for that Rockets team.
100%. He can do it all, even as a center. But my other guy, Underdog put out a great graphic, not too long ago. Kawhi Leonard.
Yeah.
Here's the deal. 27.7 points per game at the time that they posted this, a career high for him. In a career that has been absolutely incredible. If he's averaging his career high points, that's insane.
Yeah.
6.1 rebounds, 3.5 assists. Probably changed by now. But at this time, 2.1 steals, leading the NBA with 2.1 steals per game. And 50, 40, 94. They also said first player in NBA history to average those numbers, not be an all-star. That's, I don't know what – I need an explanation on how he's not an all-star because I looked at the games he's played. He's played the same amount of games at this point in the season than he did last year.
Yeah.
So, I mean, he was injured last year. He's hurt last year. But still several games left in the season, and he's played the same amount of games that he played last year already to this point in the season with a lot of season left to go. So, to me, Kawhi Leonard, I don't know what it is. If you see this, give me an explanation of why Kawhi Leonard is not an all-star, because I can't really find an explanation as to why he's not at least a reserve in the all-star games, in my opinion. You got to look on your face like we got something.
not so much something, not so much as far as like breaking news or anything like that. I am, though, very disappointed that Cooper Flagg's not an all-star. Yes, he's 19 years old.
Yeah.
Yes, he's a rookie. Yes, he will probably end up being the rookie of the year between him, Cock and Nipple. VJ's had a really good season. But this most recent run of Cooper Flagg basketball.
Look. In the past, because we saw it with Luka too, I believe. Rookies just kind of get snubbed for whatever reason.
Yeah.
Cooper Flagg, I think, should be an all-star as well. I just think my thing is like, okay, you're all just going to pull the rookie card on him. I guess that's what it is. That's why he's not an all-star. there's three for us. There's Şengün, there's Kawhi Leonard, and then there's Cooper Flag. I think I can explain to where like it's just like, oh, he's a rookie, oh, he had a bad start. Like, I don't know, that might be whoever, the voters gripe, that might be the the coaches gripe. I don't know what it is. Cooper Flag could be an all-star as well, but I could see where like, oh, they make the rookie excuse, they make the he had a slow start excuse. I don't know. I can't explain Kawhi Leonard. I can't explain Şengün.
Yes.
So,
I can try to explain the Kawhi of it all, and it unfortunately has nothing to do with basketball. I mean, the Clippers, to say that they've been in the news throughout the season is putting it a little lightly.
Sure.
With the business of it all.
Sure.
And yes, there's a couple of things out of Kawhi Leonard's control.
Yeah.
Other things, it's the KL2 LLC, whatever the heck that situation was. Yeah. I will say, and obviously no real hunches or any types of insider things by any stretch, but nothing would surprise me if almost the weekend of or immediately after the All-Star break, Adam Silver comes in and says, oh, hey, by the way, you're suspended for 25 games. Whoa. Yeah. Whoa. Yeah. You know what I mean? Like, not an impossible thing. If it hasn't happened already, one can make the argument, is it ever going to happen this season?
Yeah.
Which, again, nothing's come down as of right now with the Clippers organization. If anything, it's been more so with Steve Ballmer, with the executives and all that situation. But Kawhi Leonard being the lone player, at least to my recollection, that was throughout this entire process, I wouldn't be surprised if there is some level of, hey, we need to figure something out as to how we can have some form of consequence or repercussions for this Clippers team. Which, by the way, they've played some really good basketball up until rather recently. Where
and Kawhi Leonard's played great basketball. I mean, just think, whatever's going on, whatever they're thinking or whatever they're talking about, he's still an all-star.
Last thing I will say as of right now, I have not watched Miami Heat basketball by any stretch this season. But I find it kind of weird to believe that Norman Powell is an all-star.
He's been performing pretty good. Maybe not. You could make the case maybe not at an all-star level, but he's definitely come on in his career for sure, and he's been playing some good ball.
Fair enough.
I could get that. However, we got some more interesting things. We got some lines that we got to talk about, Alan. We got other stuff that we got to get into. We got to draft a fantasy Super Bowl team, and we got to get into that.
Yes, sir.
And we got a fun last block coming up. Man, I'm so sad we've run out of time. We still got so much to talk about. NBA.
Do we even make our picks for the game?
For the Super Bowl?
Do we even make our picks?
We got to make our picks.
Yes,
we got to do all that.
We
got plenty of line stuff coming up. Fun betting stuff that we got coming up, and we got to make our picks for as far as a fantasy Super Bowl team as well. We'll have that coming up. Stick with us on Map It Out. All right, welcome back to Map It Out. Again, Super Bowl coming up on Sunday. Plenty going on in the NBA that we just talked about. We're going to talk about the trade deadline next week. All-Star break is coming up over there. But, man, we got to talk about the Super Bowl. We got to make our pick for the Super Bowl for one thing. I checked the line today. It is still -4.5 in favor of the Seahawks over the Patriots. I got to go quick. It's Seahawks. In my opinion, it's just going to be the Seahawks. They've been a dominant team this year. Defense looks great. Offense has done what it has to do. JSN has been every much so a debate for the best receiver in the NFL this year. He's played so good. And the one-handed catch that we saw in the championship game, man, he's a stud athlete. Kenneth Walker, even been a great running back for them. I just think they've got too much talent, too much going for them. They just look really good right now. I think 4.5 is honestly could be a little bit of a, I don't know. I feel like that's kind of nice. That's kind of generous, especially with how everybody's saying, oh, Seahawks are going to win. Patriots are really young, and Patriots are inexperienced, and strength of schedule. I'm going with the Seahawks.
I'm not mad at it. I remember, again, 11 years ago. It's crazy to think about, but funny enough, I was on my way back home from my first visit up here to the Panhandle. And it was Super Bowl Sunday. We're like my dad and I listening to it in the car, and we just had this look when it came to the end of the game. We're like, surely you didn't just hear a pass play being called at the 1 yard line that got intercepted, which I believe is one of the bigger. I believe is a really great thing of again, similar thing with the new era, this new wave of basketball, this new wave of football. I don't know whose decision it really was, but I know that Mike McDonald would not make that type of decision in that type of spot. So with that, with the defense in place, I think Drake May is going to make some plays, but I think there's going to be a lot more of moments where he is uncomfortable and out of his spot. Sam Darnold, do not mess this up. Give me the Seahawks. I will say Seahawks will cover. I say Seahawks by at least 10.
Oh, yeah.
At least.
So a lot of people think it's going to be a blowout. I mean, I could see it, there being nerves and maybe the game staying close enough. Maybe the Seahawks pull away later. But, I mean, I think 4.5, I think is just fine. I think I would take that. I think they win by a touchdown. I could see it being a blowout, but the 4.5, I'm like, all right. I can see it being a 7-point win for the Seahawks, just with, like we said, dominant, look good. Patriots might be a little less than experience. We'll see what happens, but the Seahawks just looking too good right now.
Really good.
All right, we got some fun ones. Here we go. All right, National Anthem. We can just fly through these. National Anthem over under 119.5 seconds. Charlie Puth is singing the National Anthem. To me, I think he's kind of a fast-paced singer. So, I mean, it's usually set at 119.5 seconds, I believe. So I think with his style and how he's kind of a little upbeat, he's kind of a sad singer, but he's also upbeat at the same time. I'm gonna go with the under on the 119.5.
See, I will take the over because I was also watching the Grammys this past weekend.
Okay.
I was also on social media, and I did see a post, pardon me, from one Charlie Puth, paraphrasing a bit, saying, "Hey, this is the last time I'm going to be a nominee, or the last time I'm going to be on the outside looking in when it comes to the Grammys." Incredibly talented singer, incredibly talented songwriter. I think we could see a little bit of a showcase of sorts.
Okay.
Like, we know how talented Charlie Puth is, but I would love to see. I think it might go over. I'll say
he's going to be hanging on this one for
you.
Okay, cool.
Like it's a bit of a showcase. It's Super Bowl 60 as well. Like, there should be quite a bit of grandeur and spectacle when it comes to it, especially being out there in San Francisco. I think it'll be a good time. Or Santa Clara.
His time to shine for a little bit, right?
Yeah, for sure.
Okay.
Absolutely.
All right. I like it. Yeah. So we'll go opposite on that one. All right. How many times will Cardi B be shown on the screen? Over under 1.5? And we all know why we're talking about Cardi B, linked to Stephon Diggs, obviously. So what are we thinking? I mean, you know what? I'm going to go over on that because I feel like Stephon Diggs will do enough in the game to where they're going to show her, like, that's my man. You know what I mean? So I'm going to go over on that.
This isn't my official answer, but on some cop-out type of time, if the Patriots win, then that's the easiest money that you could possibly make. Being out there on the field, the sideline, it is every bit. It could be, or people will try and make it every bit of akin to the Taylor and Travis of it all from a couple of years ago as well. I'll take the over. Even if it's 2 times, obviously that's more than 1.5. I'll take it. I'm for it.
All right, awesome. Okay, first touchdown scorer, I'm going to go with Kenneth Walker. I think the Seahawks get on the board first. They get near the goal line, and Kenneth Walker's going to score the first touchdown.
Give me a really creative red zone Cooper Kupp touchdown.
All right, I love it. You could probably get like plus 2,000 on that, in my opinion. So that's a good one right there. All right, over under. I could see this being a defensive game. 45.5 is the over-under. I'm going to go with the under on that one just because you got 2 nervous teams. I think defense will prevail for a little while in the game, and then I don't think it'll get over 45.5.
You know what? Give me the over.
All right.
Firmly in favor of the Seahawks. I said Seahawks by at least 10. I think things could be ugly very quickly if New England gets the ball first. I can see some crazy blitzes, crazy bits of pressure. I would like to see. I got to see it. It's the last game of the season. Drake May's played some great football, but for me, I still got to see him being every bit of the MVP candidate first couple of possessions.
All right, awesome. Can't wait for the game. Let's do our last second thing here, our last question that we got. So we're going to draft an all-time Super Bowl team.
Yes, sir.
What are we thinking? You kind of go with performance or just all-time player. I'll start with my quarterback. I gotta go with Tom Brady. That's just obvious. Most Super Bowls as a player, just always coming through in the clutch. doing what he had to do as a quarterback. He's a special player.
Not mad at it. Not mad at it. If I had to think of a specific Brady, I can either go with Pat's Falcons, Pat's Eagles. Even in a losing effort, I think one of the greater yardage performances in NFL history, certainly in the past 15 plus years. In Tom Brady's case, I believe close to 500 yards. I could be wrong.
Yep.
But regardless of it, though, give me Steve Young, Super Bowl 29.
Okay.
Super Bowl 29, 325 yards, 6 touchdowns. I mean, I the thing that surprised me more was not only the 6 touchdowns, but the fact that they played the Chargers in that Super Bowl. But give me Steve Young, 100%.
All right. And obviously more than honorable mention on that, Joe Montana. Gotta mention that guy,
that
Joe
one guy.
Montana, for sure. That one guy. It's right behind Brady. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Okay, running back. I'm gonna give a little bit of maybe not so much a curveball, but give me Marcus Allen.
Nice.
Great,
that was one of mine.
Great Super Bowl performance. He was MVP in that game. What a phenomenal game for him, and he was a great running back as well. Obviously, I mean Marcus Allen, probably one of the best running backs of all time.
Yep.
Great Super Bowl performance. What do you got?
Another MVP caliber performance. Shout out to the Broncos fans. Super Bowl 32. Terrell Davis, 157 yards, 3 touchdowns.
Glad you mentioned him. There we go.
That game. It was the
Terrell
game.
Davis, what a guy, man. And his career cut short, sadly, but man, one of the best running backs of all time.
Truly, outside of Emmitt Smith, of course, the first
to say.
really great running back that I'd ever seen in my lifetime.
Yeah, and I mean, I was going to say honorable mention. We definitely got Emmitt Smith in there. I mean, what a part of that Cowboys crew, 100%, no doubt about it. Wide receiver. I just got to go obvious here. I'll mention another guy's name, but Jerry Rice. I mean, come on, dude. The greatest, not even close, receiver of all time.
Top 2 football players, period. I think him, Brady, you can argue Lawrence Taylor in that top 3, but I think that's a respectable 3 for sure.
Definitely. I got to mention Lynn Swann as well for one of the best 4-catch games you'll ever see for the Steelers winning that Super Bowl with Terry Bradshaw. Tight end, what do we got? I got, you know what? I'm assuming you'll mention him. I'm going to go with this guy, Rob Gronkowski, man. What a guy. Special performance in the Super Bowl with Tom Brady. I'm sure I know who you're going to mention as well.
I mean, you really can't go wrong with Gronk. That Super Bowl 52 performance, 9 catches, 116 yards, 2 touchdowns. I'll give a shout-out to Vernon Davis, though.
Oh,
Six catches for 104. Definitely on the tear. I mean, of course, Travis Kelce. He's been every bit of that guy as well.
Kelce.
Receiver-wise, though, I'm surprised. I'm not surprised. I mean, Jerry Rice, again, one of the greatest of all time. I'm going to go with Julian Edelman, though.
Okay.
10 catches, 141 yards. He was the guy. Receiver-wise, the number 1 target in the latter parts of Brady's New England run. So
I like it. Great performance from him for sure. All right, on defense, I got 3 guys I want to mention.
Okay.
So, at corner, Malcolm Butler, one of the best, moments of all time, intercepting the ball at the goal line against the Seahawks and winning them the Super Bowl. That's a performance for me. I think all-time player, you got to go with Ray Lewis.
Yes.
Obviously, one of the scariest linebackers. I've been seeing slant TikToks about him all the time. It's so funny, man. But one of the scariest linebackers, and he's won 2 Super Bowls. And just a dominant player. I got to go with an old-timer. Jake Scott, doing some research. Jake Scott, 2 interceptions in the Miami Dolphins run to becoming the only undefeated team, throughout the entire season, finishing off their undefeated season that year. I think 1974, I think is what it was. Jake Scott, safety, 2 interceptions, helped them win a 14-7 Super Bowl in that game to be 14-0.
I like that.
Yep.
Lot of great defenders. I would not be an Aggie fan if I did not mention one of the greatest Aggies ever. It's certainly in the past 2 decades. Von Miller's Super Bowl 50 performance.
I agree.
For someone who was heavily rooting for the Carolina Panthers, because that was just one of the greater seasons I've ever seen.
Akeem Talib.
Akeem Talib, a stud, but it was that strip sack from Von Miller. I'm sitting there.
That decided the game.
Yeah. I'm up at a buddy of mine's apartment up in Canyon. We were watching the game 2016. I'm looking around like, yo, there's no way the Broncos are not winning this game. Off of that strip sack alone, I'm looking at Von Miller, which I believe 2.5 sacks, Super Bowl MVP, that strip sack, of course. That was one of also keeping in mind that Legion of Boom defense back in 2013.
No doubt.
That 2016 Broncos defense is the greatest Super Bowl defense that I've ever seen.
100%. A lot of great players, man. Can't wait for Super Bowl on Sunday, man.
Yes.
It'll be a good one between the Seahawks and the Patriots. I'll be watching for sure. Everybody's going to be watching the commercials, halftime performance, and the game. A lot that we're excited about locally, nationally. We'll get into a lot more stuff next week, recap the game, talk about the NBA trade deadline. And what another fun episode of Map It Out number 4. We'll have number 5 next week. Alan, thank you as always. Good stuff. We're going to keep it going, man. Keep tuning in. This has been Map It Out.